You're watching UNICEF Television. 1989 saw the drafting of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. Less than a year later, it had become the most universally adopted international treaty in history. The Convention on the Rights of the Child is the clearest expression of the international community's commitment to children, and states that every child has the inherent right to healthcare, education, a name and nationality, to protection from abuse and neglect. Signatories to the Convention are legally bound to uphold it. On the heels of the Convention's success, the World Summit for Children brought the largest gathering of world leaders together to establish goals for the future. Children were its sole focus. Both the Convention and the Summit were quickly put to the test, as children and their families were caught in the crossfire in a series of bloody civil wars. Children were killed or traumatized by conflict, even forced to fight. Conflicts put children at risk from landmines, starvation and trafficking. Millions were forced to flee their homes, their countries, their right to a childhood denied. UNICEF and UNESCO developed School in a Box, an extraordinary innovation that contains everything teachers need to get children learning again in such emergency situations. Under a tree, in a tent, in the ruins of their schools. Mid-decade, a terrible genocide began to sweep across Rwanda. Thousands of children were maimed, killed, separated or orphaned. Many forced to take on the responsibility of adulthood far too soon. On the brink of UNICEF's 50th anniversary, Carol Bellamy became the first woman to lead the organisation. She quickly saw that UNICEF needed to keep pace with the changes and challenges gripping the world. As the decade progressed, the promises made in the Convention on the Rights of the Child were called upon again and again to fight for every child's right to education, to protect children from the exploitation of child labour, to recognise every child's right to play, to a childhood. But as the century drew to a close, it became increasingly evident that the international community would have to work even harder if children's rights were to be realised in a new and challenging millennium.